Well, hello everyone. Welcome to my weekly Facebook Live. I'm just trying to get this all figured out. Hold on, let me adjust this real quick. I was doing something else and I looked at the clock and was like, oh no, I need to get on Facebook Live. So thank you for joining me. This is my weekly Sale-a-Bration Sunday series. This is the card we're going to make today. We're actually using 2 Sale-a-Bration stamp sets and 1 Sale-a-Bration DSP for this. So we're really pulling out a lot of the Sale-a-Bration products for that one. But before we jump into our card for today, let me just go over everything that's going on this week and everything that you need to know. So Paper Pumpkin for March is their 10th anniversary. So I cannot believe they've been around for 10 years, but they have. It is their 10th anniversary for Paper Pumpkin, and included in their 10th anniversary kit is going to be an additional free stamp set. So you're going to get the stamp set that coordinates with the kit, and then you're going to get an additional free one. So it's very exciting. So if you love the Paper Pumpkin stamp sets, if you love the Paper Pumpkin kits, make sure that you subscribe for March's kit. It's going to be a pretty good one. I'm still waiting for my February kit to arrive. I think that it got lost somewhere. I don't know. It hasn't moved in the shipping. I've looked at it, so we'll have to. I'm waiting. Hopefully it'll arrive soon. I have seen a lot of sneak peeks about it. I've seen the projects. They are so cute. So I cannot wait to get my February Paper Pumpkin. When I do, when it happens, I will go live in my VIP group. Okay. Let me just checking. I'm just checking something on my phone. Hold on. Okay. I hope I went live in the right place. We'll see. You know, that's always like the big fear, right? Did I go live in the right place? I hope I did. We'll see. All right. It is Sale-a-Bration Sunday. We are using some Sale-a-Bration stamp sets that we haven't used this month or this series. So we're using the Sending Support set. This is a really good set for words, for encouragement, words, sympathies. And then we're using this In the Country stamp set too. So if you have not gotten all of your products that you want that are on your wish list from Sale-a-Bration, make sure that you do. We're down to our final days. Sale-a-Bration ends on February 28th. So we're down to our final days for this. This is the additional options that you can choose from. So make sure you are looking at those when you are shopping for Sale-a-Bration as well. Now, if you have a long wish list, you might want to consider joining my team. When you join, you get to choose the one of the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machines, the mini ones, for free in your kit. If you don't want those machines, if you already have one, you don't need another one, that's fine. There is a third option for you to join too as well. So, but the deal is you're running out of time for this deal as well. This is the options 1 and 2 with the machines are $129 each. You get to choose $175 in product. And then option 3 is $99 and you get to choose $175 in product as well. But time's running out for these two. The last day to take advantage of these deals is February 28th. Okay guys, on my blog starting tomorrow, I have another Stamp a Stack series coming to you. This one is going to feature the Taco Fiesta stamp set. I truly love this stamp set. This is one of my favorites. So my Stamp a Stack series, I have kits ready to go for this series. It features the Taco Fiesta stamp set, and I will mail you the kit. So you're going to make 6 cards, and every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm going to feature a different card on my blog. There's a coordinating video to go with it that we'll post at the same time. And if you want the kit, you can buy the kit for $25. All you need to do is email me telling me that you want the kit, and you will get all the supplies for the 6 cards. In addition, you're going to get a bunch of this Flowers and More DSP. That is the host DSP, and you're going to use that on all of your cards. The DSP is fantastic. It's the host DSP from the mini catalog. You're going to get a 4x6 sheet of every pattern we have. You're also going to get a bunch of these little gems to use on your card, and the kit's only $25 for 6 cards. So it's a pretty amazing deal. This is the second time I've done it. I've done it also with the Silly Goose stamp set. I did that in January. So this one I'm featuring the Taco Fiesta. So it's a fantastic little stamp stack. So that series is coming on my blog Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You can check that out, especially if you want to get that kit. All the details will be posted on my blog tomorrow. Okay, so if you are shopping, make sure to use this host code. This is my host code for February. All orders receive a PDF with 3 exclusive projects. If your order's over $50 more, if you are shopping, you will also receive the Mangan ticket that coordinates with that. I'm a little behind in sending them out for February. That is on my to-do list to get done this week. So if you have ordered in February, those kits are coming. I apologize for the delay. They are coming, I promise. All right, this is the card we are making today. It is a gorgeous, and it's a fun fold card. And I told you we're using 3 different celebration stamp sets, or 3 different celebration products. So we're using the Sending Support stamp set, and this is a really good one for, I mean, like I said, those sympathy cards, those encouragement cards, anything you need a good, like, I'm here for you greeting. And then we're also using this In the Country stamp set, which I'll be honest, this was not on my first go round, and it's not typically my style, but I love this card, and I'm going to give you some fun tips with it. Now, the third celebration product that we're using is, let me see if I can find it, is the one that we used last week, and oh my goodness, I can't even find it now. It's the, I thought it was right here. It is the Farm DSP, On the Farm DSP, is that what it's called? We used it last week. So that is what we're using today, and you'll see it as we use it. Now, I did also want to mention just one more thing. This Dainty Flowers DSP, if this was on your wish list, unfortunately, this one is gone as a celebration option. So if this was on your wish list, this is now no longer available. So that is, to my knowledge, the only celebration product that has sold out. So everything else is still available. But let's get to making our card. We're going to start with our stamping, and it is a fun fold card. So let's do our stamping. I'm going to put my stamp sets aside. Now, I am going to stamp that main image from that In the Country. I'm going to use my Stamparatus. I have already die cut a Deckled rectangle, and I have it in my Stamparatus, in my ink. And I'm using it in my Stamparatus because this is a pretty detailed image, and I want to make sure that I am getting a good impression on this. So, Memento ink. We're going to color with our Stampin' Blends. Now, this set, it's very watercolor-like. So if you prefer to watercolor, then by all means you can watercolor this set. I am not the best watercolorer, so I really prefer to use my Stampin' Blend. So I'm going to color it with my Stampin' Blends, but if you want to watercolor it, you can definitely watercolor it, but make sure you're using Stays On ink and not Memento. Stays On will be your better bet for watercoloring. The Memento will smear for sure with the watercoloring. Okay, so we have a nice dark image there, which is what I want. So let me get my paper. We're gonna put our Stamparatus aside, but isn't that pretty? It's a beautiful image. It's a beautiful stamp. It's just not, it's not my style, but don't discount it, even if it's not your style, because I mean, it might be the style of the friend you're gonna send this to. So don't discount it for sure. Okay, let's do our coloring. We're gonna come back and stamp our greetings later, but let's do our coloring. So I am using a few different Stampin' Blends. Let's see, what do we want to start with? Let's start with our Road. I'm gonna use Crumb Cake for the Road, and I'm gonna do all of my coloring the same way. I'm gonna start with my dark, blend out with my light, and then I'm gonna finish with my dark, because I want the dark areas to be like boldly dark. So you can see the road has those dark areas that are really, really dark. The grass has those dark areas that are really, really dark. So I'm just going to, wherever there is like hash marks, I'm going to make sure that I'm highlighting those with my dark. And then the farther you get up the road, the darker it's going to get. Now there's the road kind of goes on both sides. So this is kind of like if you were in like a wagon or something. The grass would grow down the middle, or maybe this is like a 2-lane road. I don't know. But I am coloring it this way. So darker images here. I'd like to know, I mean, did anybody get this stamp set? Do you guys love it? I really like it, but it's just not my style. So when I'm stamping, it's not something that I'm going to really gravitate toward, but I'm curious if how you guys feel about this. So I'm just going to blend over that with my light Crumb Cake, and we're going to go back in. Now I'm going to kind of exceed down below a little bit, just to kind of finish off that image a little bit, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. Just for the little road here. And I'm just going to kind of go down, kind of exceed those perimeter lines. I'm blending those lines, but I'm not too concerned about making sure that they get completely blended out because, again, we're going to go back in with the dark while it's still wet, and it's just going to kind of all keep blending together. All right, there we go. So that's it for our crumb cake. I'm just going to go over it just one more time. Just blend it just a little bit more. Okay, so that's it for our little road. That was crumb cake. I'm gonna put these away as we go. That way they don't get lost. All right, now for our fence post, I'm gonna start with my light this time, and I'm just going to go through and color the whole thing with my light. What is this, soft suede? I almost said smoky slate, but I knew that wasn't correct. This is soft suede, so we're gonna color the entire fence with soft suede. So this whole thing, I go through, and the further down you get, the smaller the fence gets, the harder it is to see. And when I got to coloring some of my grass back here, I realized, oh, there's fences back there. There's little fence posts. So don't forget those. Just kind of keep going. Now I'm going to come in with the dark, and I'm just going to add some shading on the left side of all of these poles. I'm just going to kind of go down all those fence posts. I'm not going to worry too much in the background. And then on the bottom of the horizontal ones, I'm just going to go along the bottom of those. And these are really small areas, so don't worry too much about blending these perfectly because they're small areas. The bigger areas is going to be the grass and the roads and the trees. The fence is just kind of there. So don't worry about blending it too much. So that looks good. We're going to move on. I'm going to do my trees. We're going to do the grass last. So I'm going to do my trees. I have some shaded spruce for my trees. I'm going to start with my dark again. So all the trees in the background here, there's trees, there's bushes. I'm just going to give all of these, I'm starting with my dark. For the trees, I'm going down the center, and then I'm just picking a few spots and going out along the sides for some of those branches. Again, these are in the background. They're small images, so you don't have to worry too much about perfect shading back here. But I do want to make sure that some of them have some of that shading because the artist has put in a lot of those little hash mark lines to indicate that there is shading back there. So, yeah, you can color these however you want. Oh, I don't want to use my brush tip. Let's go. This is my light shaded spruce now, and I'm just going to go through and I'm going to color all of them. And I'm not going to be super exact about them. If I go out of the lines, that's okay, especially with the little pine trees here, because those are just going to kind of fill in the space back there. So everything kind of along that back horizon line back there. These little sketches, these little images from this In the Country stamp set actually kind of remind me of like something Bob Ross would paint. Like I think this image is something Bob Ross would paint. There's lots of little happy trees back there. He's got a nice little road. I think this is definitely a Bob Ross painting. So, and then just back in with the dark, just especially on some of those little trees, just add some extra shading there. Okay, so that's it with our shaded spruce. I'm gonna put that away. Now before we get to our grass, I have my light pool party here. And all I'm going to do with this is on that tree line back there, I'm just going to trace on the outside of this, on the trees. I'm not going to do too much coloring on the sky. You can add like a gorgeous sky back here with the Stampin' Blends, or if you're watercoloring, you can add a sky. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to go around each of those trees, the bushes, just in the back, and it's just going to give it just a little bit of depth and dimension. So, and I know this is not going to really show up on camera, but on the pictures that I'll post on my blog, it does show up pretty well. So let me show you kind of where we're at right now. So you can kind of see, you can even see on this one too, that pool party just kind of makes those trees kind of pop in the background. Okay, Parakeet Party for our grass. Another option for a bright green grass would be the granny apple green. That would be good too. Okay, you know what I need? I need my dark crumb cake. My road didn't go up far enough here. This is road up here. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm going to start over here on the right, and where there's those dark lines, I'm going to add dark lines. So anywhere that there's markings from the artist, I'm going to add dark to them. I'm just going to go up, and then again, the closer you get back here, it's going to be more dark, so I'm just going to keep it dark in the back there. I'm going to just work with these two sections at a time, and then we'll work with this big section all together. So bring that down. Bring in your light Parakeet Party. Parakeet Party is the green I've been reaching for the most recently. I think it's such a bright, fun green, and it just really makes other colors pop as well. Just really kind of brings everything together, I think. Okay, now I want a little bit more dimension in that dark, so I'm going to come in, just make sure that those dark areas are highlighted darker, and we're going to come in and do that again as well after it dries a little bit. Okay, so for our dark areas here, I'm going to go in anywhere where there's like little hash mark lines along the edge of the road here, kind of where the grass is kind of been pushed back. I'm going to make it darker under all these fence posts. We're going to use our dark all the way down. All right, now next week, it is our last Celebration Sunday. That is the last of our series for Celebration Sunday is next week. So, and we've used everything in the celebration brochure except for that host set. I'm not sure we're going to do the host set though. I have an idea for another project with the Thanks a Bunch set. I'm going to switch to my brush tip. This is a big area. With the Thanks a Bunch set, I kind of want to do a project with that one. So I think that's what we're going to do next week. And it's going to be an adorable little project if it works out as it is in my head. So tune in again next week. I'm going to bring you another Thanks a Bunch. And that one has been one of the more popular ones, especially with my customers anyway. The Thanks a Bunch, that's been one of the ones that has been chosen the most. Okay, I'm going to switch to the brush tip for the dark too, and we're going to go back in. We're going to add those dark lines back. I'm going to make this super dark, just along all those little hash mark lines back here. Kind of go along the edge back there. Then I'm going to come back over here and add them back again too, back here. All right, just real quick over that with the light, and it's still pretty wet, so it's kind of all blending together anyway, and I think we're going to stop. I could keep going, but I think we're going to stop. But isn't that pretty? Isn't that a pretty image? Now, you could watercolor this if you wanted. I prefer Stampin' Blends, but it doesn't matter. You know, there's no instructions on the stamp set that says you have to watercolor this image, so you do you. Okay, let's move this aside, and let's do the rest of our stamping. We're going to do some heat embossing. So I have just a scrap of black, my Versamark, and my greeting. My greeting, remember, is from that Sending Support Celebration stamp set, which is a good one. And it's a good one to pair up with this one because this one doesn't have any greetings. So I'm using my little anti-static thing that is from the embossing toolkit. I'll do that. I like to do that especially if I'm embossing on black because those little white embossing powder things will get everywhere. So just a scrap of black. I'm going to stamp my image, and I know you guys can't see it, but it's there, I promise. I'm going to bring in my white embossing powder, and I'm going to sprinkle this over. My little container, I store all my embossing powders in containers like this. I think it's easier. My little container, I got at the Container Store, as well as this little scoop is from the Container Store. And I still got, even with that powder thing, I still got white embossing powder everywhere. So just grab your little paintbrush. There we go. Paint it off. Isn't that fun? Okay, so right now it's just a powder. And I'm going to use my heat tool. We're going to heat it up. Make sure you close your embossing powder before you bring in your heat tool. Otherwise, you'll have a little volcano of powder. So I'm going to let my heat tool heat up off to the side, and then we're going to bring it to our paper, and the heat is going to melt that powder, and it's going to make it glossy and raised and shiny. I like to make sure that my heat tool is nice and hot, because the hotter it is, the quicker it will melt, and then it won't warp your paper as much. So just bring it in, just move it around. I hope you guys can see it kind of change from that powder to that bright white. All right, and that's it. Isn't that cute? Isn't that fun? So it's like shiny and glossy now. I'm not gonna touch it. I'm gonna let it completely dry first. And I have, for the inside of my card, I have a white piece that is 4 by 2 3/4, and we're just going to stamp this. You've got this on the inside, and that's from that stamp set. All right. So I've shaded spruce ink just to coordinate with my card. You can do anything. Okay, this is not going to be straight. I can't get my head right over it, so this is not going to be straight, guys. Oh, it's not so bad. Okay, the smaller the greeting, the harder it is for me to get it straight. So I was a little worried, but that's actually pretty good. Pretty excited about that. Okay, we'll come back to this one. If you have any of that powder left, just kind of wipe it off. It'll wipe right off. All right, I'm gonna punch this out. This is the double oval punch from our annual catalog, and I'm just gonna use this straight edge oval down here. This one is a scalloped oval. You can use that as to mount it on something, but we just have our little oval piece there. Okay, that is all of our stamping. We have our greetings, we have our image. So let's start assembling this card. I have all my pieces here. All of the measurements of all of these pieces are in the video description. I will try to rattle them off, but make sure to check that video description because they're going to be accurate there. All right, my crumb cake piece is 6 3/4 by 5.5, and I've scored it at 2.5. And this is going to be the bottom of our card. It's going to fold up like that. Okay. And let's glue some pieces onto that. I have the DSP piece. This is from that On the Farm DSP. We're going to use this side again. This is such a good side. It's like that crumb cake textured side. Such a good side. This is, let me see, where's my note? 4 by 5 1/4. That's just going to go on this big part of the crumb cake. Okay. Let's do this piece. This is the Shaded Spruce 6 by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 3. So just scored right at half at 3. This is going to be like our little card. This is going to go just like this. We're going to adhere this down wherever we want it onto our card, just like that. And that's going to make our little fun fold card. So some adhesive on the back of this one. And I like to just kind of put it over my little flap there, so it's right in between my little flap. And then I just, before I adhere it down, just kind of position it where I want it to be. I'm just looking for like an even border on those 3 sides with the DSP. And just go ahead and give it a little press. And this will be your little fun fold card. Now this style of card, this is like the most basic fun fold. And you can modify this to whatever. You can make this flap smaller. You can make it larger. You can make this smaller. You can make it bigger. You can have it open this way. You can have it open this way. So whatever you need to do to modify for whatever stamp set you're using, whatever punch dies that you're using, you can modify this to whatever. So we're going to make this like a landscape card, but you could do this portrait. You could do a portrait this way. You could do a landscape this way. There's really like no limits to what you can do with this. All right, now on this flap here, on our crumb cake flap, I have a piece of textured shimmer paper. Can you see that like shimmer on there? It is gorgeous. And then it's like corrugated a little bit, which is really cool. And this is Shaded Spruce. This is in our mini catalog. It comes in a package with Shaded Spruce, white, and balmy blue, I think. And this is just going to go on that crumb cake piece. Just like that. So now our card is coming together. Just like that. Isn't that cute? This piece, this textured piece was 5 1/4 by 2 1/4. All right, and then I have a piece of Parakeet Party that's just going to barely fit on there. But again, that bright green is really going to make it pop. And this Parakeet Party piece is 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. Remember, all of those measurements are in the video description, and they'll be on my blog soon. So check those out. You don't have to write any of them down. They're all there. And that's just going to give you the slightest little border on that Shaded Spruce card that's going to pop up. Okay, the inside of our card, or this piece, is going to go on the inside. And this white piece, did I tell you the measurements of this one? I think I did. This one is 4 by 2 3/4. This is going to go on the inside. And that's going to give you a little room to write. And you also have room to write down here as well. Okay, we are down to our final little pieces here. So we're going to pop this up on dimensionals. I laid everything down, and you guys are probably like, she's not using dimensionals. Don't worry, they're coming. So grab your dimensionals. Never make a card without them. Well, I think I have, but it's very, very rare. But grab your dimensionals. This is going to fit perfectly onto that Parakeet Party piece. And you can see now, you can see the detail from that Deckled rectangle die better. And these are such good dies. They come in a whole like nesting stack. They're so good. So look at the fun. So pretty. Okay. We're going to stick our greeting on with dimensionals. Of course, make sure that I'm going to get like a corner piece, just a little piece there. Make sure you don't extend the dimensionals past the edge, past the right edge, because it's going to hang off the edge of this piece, and you don't want to glue your card shut. Okay, there we go. Okay, finishing touches. There's just a couple of things that we need to do. We're going to add some basic black baker's twine. This is from our Essential Twine pack. I decided let's try to tie something on video, because that always works well, right? I'm going to wrap this twice. I'm getting quite a bit of twine here. I'm going to wrap this twice, and I kind of want it to crisscross. Oh, I didn't get enough. Hold on. I got to pull a little bit more. Okay, wrap this around twice. I should be wrapping like the spool end around, but you know, who am I to make things easier? And then we're going to tie a bow way off to the left of the card here. So I'm actually going to tie, especially with baker's twine, I like to tie it in a knot first. That's going to give me some stability. And then tie it in a bow. And baker's twine is some of my favorite ribbons to put on cards because it's light, it's post office friendly, and it just adds a lot. Okay, so basic black. That Essentials Twine pack comes with black, white, Crumb Cake, vanilla, and gray granite. Okay, I'm just trying to separate these little pieces a little bit. Okay, it'll work. Isn't that cute? We have our bow on the side. So cute. All right, now final finishing touch. I have these pastel sequins here from the mini catalog. And we're going to add some of the gold ones. I think the blue ones would work too, though. Well, maybe not. We're going to add gold. I like the gold. So they come in big and small. You get 2 different sizes. I'm going to grab my take your pick tool. And I'm going to pull a few of them out over here. We're going to do a big one. I'm going to do a little one up here. We're going to do 5 of them on this card total. I'm going to do another big one down here. One more big one down here in the bottom. And then I'm going to do a little one right there. And that finishes it. Okay. Let me get trying to figure out where my lid went. Okay, so that is the card today. What do you think, guys? It's a gorgeous little stamp set that in the country. It is a really pretty stamp set, and there's a lot you can do with it. So don't knock this one off just yet. There's still a few days left of celebration. You can still grab this one for free. So I really love it. I think this card is really, really pretty. You can send it to anybody who's maybe having a rough time right now. All right, remember, I won't be live this week in my business page on Wednesday because of my 3 videos that are posting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on my blogs. Make sure you check out that series. I will be live again on next Sunday right here in my VIP group for our final week of the Sale-a-Bration Sunday Series. And I just lost my train of thought. If my paper pumpkin comes this week, I will be live in my VIP group right here. So watch for those announcements coming soon. If you are shopping for these final days of celebration, this is February's host code. Make sure you use this host code for some extra perks for me. If you're watching this on Facebook, please share this with your crafty friends. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe to my channel. That really helps me out. All right, guys, have a great week, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.